Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today we will be understanding different advantages and disadvantages of joint stock company. As we have already understood that in joint stock company, from 7 to unlimited number of shareholders. Unlimited shareholders. What does that mean? In partnership, you were able to have from 2 to 7 maximum partners. Then in private limited company 1 to 50. But in joint stock company you may have 7 at least, but unlimited shareholder. That means even thousands of number of shareholders are possible in joint stock company. They will accumulate their share. They will gather their share. All shareholders will invest in one company, with the effect of which the shareholders of the company can be in thousands of numbers. So please keep it in mind and we will start. This is an artificial person where several shareholders will accumulate their investment and hence an artificial person will carry on their business. So what are advantages we may have? First, you can understand there would be large capital as thousands and thousands of number of shareholders are agreed to invest, and there is limited liability. We have already understood that joint stock company is artificial person and this business is liable to the extent of business only. No one is personally liable. And there is one very good aspect in partnership. You are unable to transfer your share, but here you can transfer your share. Let's say you have invested 1 lakh rupees in any public limited company and now you are not satisfied with that particular progress of the company. So what you can do, you can sell your shares to anyone else and you are very open. You don't need any permission from any owner, any other shareholder, any manager, any CEO. You can directly sell your shares to anyone. I have told you that even after death of several shareholders, joint stock company would not be ended. It has permanent life because it's an artificial person. Due to outgoing of shareholders, due to incoming of shareholders, due to death of shareholders, due to retirement of shareholders, there will not be any effect upon life of this company. So it would have an entire life until and unless you have lost your funds, until and unless a huge loss is faced by joint stock company. Otherwise there is no way you can end this company. Efficient management, what does that mean? When you would have larger capital, it means you will have sufficient funds and you can employ relatively more number of specialized persons with which there will be efficient management. And then scope of expansion, that means if you want to increase your business you can. If you want to establish a new branch, if you want to establish a new company, if you want to construct another building, another factory, you can do it because of availability of human source, because of availability of large capital. So there are chances of expansion always there. Then large scale benefits, what does that mean? If you will be manufacturing on large scale, how you will get benefits? Okay, look, when you will be having large capital, you will not be buying in small scale. That means you are not going to buy in meters or in kgs. You will buy whole containers from wholesale market, and sometime you will buy your raw material direct from the factories, with which rates of large scale buying would be decreased. As you know that when you will buy a few meters, rate would be different. And when you will buy a full packet, rate would be far less than that of retail price. So you can get benefits of wholesale pricing. All right. Then there is very important thing, sharing of risk. As I've told you that under joint stock company, there are thousands of shareholders, and normally they are not present at company in 24 hours. It means directors, CEO, other employees are working on behalf of shareholders, with which they are really independent to take the decision. So normally they take risk to get more profit. As you know that more risk means more profit. So risk would be taken because they do know this risk would be shared among thousands of shareholders. So there will not be any fear of losing. More risk, more profit. And this we have discussed that if there will be a business, there will be a risky business, it means no competition. No competition means higher rate of profit. Means in joint stock company, rate of profits would be far higher. And then there is a good thing, there will be democratic decision. What does that mean? That if you have decided to shift your business from one city to another city and there are 3000 shareholders, if 1501 people are saying yes, that decision would be made. That means only one person more than half. This is called democratic decision. And what does that mean? All decision would be made by the shareholders, and there are large number of shareholders. But we are saying 3000 shareholders are present, and they will decide whether to say yes or no. What we have understood is democratic decisioning is present in joint stock company. And then we have employment opportunities. What does that mean? If it is large scale industry, large factories, large manufacturing concern, they would need large number of workers as well, with which what will happen? They will provide employment, and they would be the reason to decrease unemployment in country as well. And then we will have investment opportunities as well. As you know that it was discussed, shareholders will provide the amount. Shareholders will provide, or shareholders will invest. Let's say you ask them to give you $1000 or $10,000 you have asked, but instead of that, several investors were interested and they had provided you $1500. Again, try to understand. You have 10,000. You have asked public to provide you $10,000, but due to your good business, due to your good fame, due to your goodwill, they have provided you $15,000. So 5,000 extra dollars can be invested anywhere else because your need was only $10,000. So $5,000 would be invested somewhere else, with which they can fetch profit as well. So there are several investment opportunities and source of government income. As you know, when there are large profits, high profits, so there will be high tax, and due to high rate of tax, there will be a good source for the government to collect its income. And use of natural resources. What does that mean? If there is larger capital, large factories, large manufacturing concern, so they will use natural resources in a better way. Gas would be used, petrol would be used, raw material would be used. Let's say it's a sugar mill, then sugar cane would be used. So natural products would be used profitability, and proper use would be over there. And there will be public confidence. What does that mean? Public, when they will see that there are large number of shareholders, they will get confidence that this company will never be ending, no death of this company. They will have a huge confidence. If company is earning profit as well, with which what will happen, more investment will come. Social responsibility can also be discussed, as you know that these companies are having larger capital and sometimes excessive and extra capital. They are providing employment sources. We have already discussed that. Look over here. They are providing employment resources. They have extra funds. They have huge capital with which what will happen? They start social benefit. They are providing extra money for the welfare. Usually it happens. And normally I was thinking that 16 advantages are enough. We will now see its disadvantages. Although you have understood due to larger scale, larger capital, so there are several advantages, but at the same time we have some complications as well. First is difficult formation. There are several complicated documentation. Permissions are very hard. Rules are very hard. Regulations are exclusively hard. So it's very difficult for anyone to start this company. You will be thinking that if we are partners and we have unlimited liability, why not we should start joint stock company? But keep it in mind, it's not easy to form. There are several obligations, several requirements you will have to fulfill. Otherwise, you will not be able to create a joint stock company. So it's difficult to form. And there is lack of personal involvement. As I have told you that shareholders will decide who will run company, who will be director, who will be director operations, who will be CEO, who will be CFO. These all of the designations would be decided by shareholders, but shareholders themselves will not be able to influence, will not be able to interfere in the management. So it means the person who had invested in the company personally, he will not be able to manage anything. And then lack of secrecy. As you know that the owners of the company are not present, with which other people, what they have no relation with the company. That means company employees, they will be working over here, and obviously they are not owners, so they won't keep any secrets. All management will know everything about company. It means keeping secrets would be very hard, and we will have delayed decisions. Why? Because decisions are in hand of shareholders, and shareholders are not present right away. So you will have to wait for annual general meeting. What word I have said? Annual general meeting, which would be held after a year. So you will have to wait for full year if you want to take a different decision. So decisions would be delayed. And I have told you that several regulations are present over there. So after shorter period of time, one government department will visit, after which a shorter period of time will go and another department will come to visit, because these regulations are very firm. Why government is created so many regulations? Because thousands of people, their stake is at hold. Thousands of persons, thousands of public uh, persons have invested in this company. So it's a matter of public. It's a matter related to public. So government will have to regulate each and everything. And then there is clash of interest as well. Look at here. I have told you that shareholders are separate to the management. Management will see how company will get profit. Sometimes they take risk. Sometimes they take decision which are directly involved with financial stability of the company. But at the same time, shareholders want the security as well. Shareholder wants to secure their business as well. Shareholder wants to keep this company working. So what will happen? Managers are going to one side and shareholders will be going to the other side. That is why usually a clash of interest would be created. Then we have double taxation. How? Look, when company will earn profit, keep it in mind. First line is what? When company is earning profit, you will have to pay tax. And when this profit, remaining profit is distributed among shareholders, when they will get profit, they will also be paying tax. In this way, dual taxation system would be involved and that would go unfavorable for shareholder as well, because due to investment of shareholders, company got the profit, and on the other hand, when they will get profit, they will have to pay tax as well. In this way, dual taxation system would be involved. Accumulation of wealth. Look, thousands of persons have invested their amount only in single company. So what had happened? Wealth has been concentrated. Wealth has been accumulated in single hand. What does that mean? Again, listen. Thousands of shareholders have invested their amount in single company. With this, concentration of wealth had become to one place, which is not in favor of economy. And for this, we will use a word, and that is monopoly. With higher capital, higher financial resources, they will create higher production units, and no one around can have the same processing machines, same processing units with which this company will create monopoly. Monopoly means only one person is producing that product. How? Because larger capital, large human resource, they will create larger factories, they will create unique plants, they will import machinery with which when they will be producing products, nobody else would be producing the same thing. So only single owner or single producer, that for single producer we will call monopoly. When there is no competitor, no other person, no other organization is making the same system. And one more thing we can take is speculation. Speculation in Urdu we usually call it sattabazi. Speculation means you will be arguing, you will be speculating, you will be, let's say the price of one share is 100 and suddenly President of Pakistan is going to be changed or Prime Minister is going to be changed, with which news would be bad and thousands of shareholders will be assuming, will be supposing about the next situation, with which what will happen? The value of shares can increase or can decrease. This is called speculation. Fake news. When you are spreading fake news, this fake news can increase the value of company or can decrease the value of company because thousands of persons are involved. So this is called speculation. So guys, in this way, what we have seen is joint stock company advantages and disadvantages. So you are requested to note each and every heading very closely, listen very closely, and revise as many times as you can. And hopefully, you you have complete idea about advantages and disadvantages. I'm sure you people memorized everything, but even then you are very open to share your problems, your difficulties through messages, text, or you can directly meet to share your problems. I will try my best to answer your queries immediately. It's time to end our lecture. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.